Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. One woman chose silence in a society conditioned to hunt noise. Veah Netherton had lived several lives before the camera, each one louder, rawer, more emotionally open than the next. Her name was well known to millions. On it, millions of people had thoughts. She had been labeled anything from the most authentic cast member to a walking red flag, praised and teased equally. But beneath every meme, every Twitter thread, every viral confession was a fact nobody completely understood. She was making it. Living in real time. On reality television. Before the world. Her stay on the 90-day program Fiancé was iconic, erratic, and brilliant. She was the one who sobbed when she meant to be strong, screamed when she wanted to be quiet, forgave too fast, left too late, and loved without safety nets. Her love stories twisted around one another. Her ends were not usually neat. She also kept going, battered but never broken through it all. Still, something inside her said, enough eventually. Not out of completion, but rather because she was at last starting. Veah disappeared. Not into scandal, nor into a new deal, but into something considerably more hazardous in the realm of celebrity after her last show aired. There were no interviews. Not with fanfare. Merely a lack. A silence. She started to rebuild in that silence as well. Nobody watched her negotiate the difficult months following her last breakup. Nobody saw her pack boxes in the middle of the night, remove old pictures, or diary pages with questions she didn't yet have solutions for. Nobody watched the mornings she stayed in bed. She read poems aloud in the evenings just to herself. None else. The days she spent staring into mirrors, searching for the look of a woman driven by performance. But Veah Netherton started to adopt a different style of life gradually, piecemeal. She got out of the city, rented a little guest cottage behind Taos, New Mexico, property of an elderly woman. Work at a small holistic bookshop. Stopped with makeup on. She left her hair to fly free. Gained sourdough baking skills. Saved beneath the stars until the silence seemed earned rather than empty. She then went to see David. It was modest. Perfectly unplanned. They met paths during a grieving and resiliency retreat run by a retired hospice nurse and a former midwife out of a circular lodge. He arrived to handle his mother's death. She was there to process her own death of her identity. He was not sure her name was. Didn't ask. He had only lately noticed her. Not in a way that felt intrusive or inquisitive, but in a way that felt seen. She could tell he paid attention. Actually paid close attention. He was not looking to get anything from her. He didn't find very impressive. He was not terrified. He existed. Their first meaningful talk had not been about trauma, TV, or love. About bees. She confided in him she fretted for them. He informed her he once stung in the mouth while sipping from a juice box. They amused themselves. That seemed like the first actual chuckle in years. What came next was a sluggish tide rather than a whirlpool. They started to be quiet partners. Talks developed out of walks. Conversations developed into confidence. Trust evolved into something Veah had never known. Not desire, not obsession, but tranquility. There were not any dramatic ultimatums. There were no devoted performances. Not worried about waiting for texts. Simply existence. Sitting before a fire pit in a thrashed sweater and wool socks, she told him the truth about her background one evening. She was expecting him to withdraw. He did not falter. He just asked her whether she appreciated her current self. She first fell in love at that moment. Their courting was a secret the world was not worthy of. There is no engagement post. Neither a ring reveal. It was time to seal it since they had decided one morning, over scrambled eggs and coffee with cinnamon, that they wanted to keep selecting each other every day. Under cottonwood trees close to a creek bed, they were married. Her attire was a classic gown turned over. His outfit was linen, somewhat crumpled. One dog barked during the vows. She let her cry through hers. He made them up right on after forgetting his. They danced on their feet bare. They savored lemonade. That evening they returned home and watched a rerun of the Great British Bake Off, laughing till they lost all ability to breathe. Then arrived the baby. On a Tuesday, she discovered. He was finishing his teeth brushing. She was fixed on the test. 2 lines. She did not start to panic. She did not shout. She hardly said anything at all. She merely walked to him, handed the test to him, and let the quiet speak. He was crying. She missed. Not right now. That would come later, when she lay down that evening and said to her own belly, "I swear we won't perform for anyone. Our lives will be lived for ourselves." They never mentioned it on social media. They shared it hardly among others. Every kick took place in private. Every ultrasound held great meaning. To her stomach, they sung lullabies, put name suggestions on the backs of receipts down on paper, held each other through the fearful times, celebrated the small pleasures nobody else noticed. Up to the picture. They strolled on the beach at golden hour one peaceful Sunday evening. She barely fit in a cotton dress. He arrived with oranges in a paper bag. Someone, maybe a visitor, perhaps a native, snipped a picture from far away. It showed everything. Her feet naked in the beach. Her hand softly cupping her gut. He had his arms around her. His lips open on her forehead. Her eyelids closed from the weight of happiness rather than from the sun. That picture broke out, and the planet recalled her once more exactly like that. But this time they did not see the disorganized, chaotic woman they had known. They came upon a contented woman, a woman who had rewoven her life into something lovely after having fallen apart from the machine. She never looked at the leak. She was not obliged, of course. She had nothing to prove by then. She was not seeking understanding anymore. She was not playing for the redemption arc. She stopped expecting to be selected. She had selected her own already, and in doing this she had discovered everything. Sand sanctuary, love, family, stillness sanctuary. She was not making a comeback here. It was her ongoing legacy, maybe also her completion. The heart heals in silence, and love grows when none else is watching. Veah Netherton. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.